tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is Cool News at 4.
Good afternoon and welcome to Cool News at 4. I am Cairo. The former chairman of the Philippines Commission on Elections was inducted by a U.S. federal grand jury in Florida on Thursday for allegedly taking bribes from a company that provided voting machines for the country's 2016 elections. Andres Andy Bautista, age 60, faces one count of conspiracy to commit money laundering and 3 counts of international laundering of monetary instruments, the Justice Department said in a statement. 3 executives of the voting machine company were also inducted for the roles in an alleged bribery and money laundering scheme to retain and obtain business related to the 2016 Philippine elections, it said. The Justice Department did not identify the company, but one of the 3 indicted executives is Roger Alejandro Pinate Marines, age 49, a Venezuelan citizen and Florida resident who is a co-founder of Smartmatic. The indictment alleges that between 2015 and 2018, Pinate Jorge Miguel Vasquez, age 62, and others cost at least $1 million in bribes to be paid to Bautista. Pinate and Vasquez are each charged with 1 count of conspiracy to violate the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Like Bautista, Pinate, Vasquez, and Ali Morano, age 44, a dual citizen of Venezuela and Israel, are also charged with 1 count on conspiracy to commit money laundering and 3 counts of international laundering of monetary instruments. The Philippine Commission on Elections banned Smartmatic last year from bidding on election contracts, but the country's highest court overturned the ban in April. Bautista, who headed the Election Commission from 2015 to 2017, awarded Smartmatic a $199 million contract to supply the Philippines with 94,000 voting machines for the 2016 presidential election won by former leader Rodrigo Duterte. He has denied any wrongdoing, writing on X that he did not ask for nor receive any bribe money from Smartmatic or any other entity. The Justice Department and U.S. Attorney's Office did not respond to a query from AFP as to whether Bautista is in U.S. custody. In the statement, Smartmatic confirmed 2 of its employees had been indicted, saying that regardless of the veracity of the allegations and while our accused employees remain innocent until proven guilty, we have placed both employees on leaves of absence effective immediately. No voter fraud has been alleged and Smartmatic is not indicted, the company said, adding, voters worldwide must be assured that the elections they participate in are conducted with the utmost integrity and transparency. These are the values that Smartmatic lives by. Smartmatic has filed lawsuits against Fox News and allies of former President Donald Trump, including ex-New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, over false claims that its machines were used to manipulate the results of the 2020 U.S. election. A child protection section under the Office of the President has been set up as the country saw an increase in the number of online sexual abuse or exploitation of children cases. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. issued Executive Order Number 67 on August 6, creating the Presidential Office for Child Protection to ensure a whole-of-nation approach in strengthening existing institutional and legal framework on child protection. In view of the increasing OSAEC cases and other threats to the welfare of children in the Philippines, and consistent with the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028, which provides that the protection of children from physical and mental distress is a key strategy to achieve transformative social system, it is imperative to ensure a whole-of-nation approach in strengthening existing institutional and legal framework on child protection, states EO 67. Under the order, the PCOP will be an attached office of the President and will be headed by a presidential advisor for child protection. EO67 mandates the PCOB to monitor and harmonize government policies and programs involving the welfare and protection of children, anti-OSAEC, anti-child sexual abuse or exploitation materials, and anti-child trafficking matters. It also tasks the PCOB to submit policy recommendations to the President, as well as monitor the implementation of presidential directives or priority programs and projects regarding the welfare and protection of children, promote and monitor the harmonization, integration, and non-duplication of relevant government trusts, policies, and programs, coordinate and collaborate with the Council for the Welfare of the Children and other relevant government agencies and bodies, as well as civil society groups, towards the formulation or updating of the National Plan of Action for Children, coordinate and collaborate with the IACAT or Interagency Council Against Trafficking and National Coordination Center in the formulation and implementation of programs to combat OSAEC, CSAEM, and child trafficking, identify and recommend the prioritization of urgent government interventions for the protection of children, subject to existing laws, rules, and regulations, represent the Philippines in relevant international fora and initiatives, and monitor the government's compliance with its duties and obligations under the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child or the UNCRC, worst forms of child labor convention, and such other similar international legal instruments as may be necessary, convene technical working groups for the effective implementation of this order, and perform such other duties and functions as the President and or the Executive Secretary may direct. Meanwhile, the PACP's role is to act as a member representing the Office of the President in the National Coordination Center, CWC, National Council Against Child Labor, Committee for the Special Protection of Children. EO67 further states that Marcos or Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin may designate the PACP as a member or an observer in other similar government agencies and bodies with functions related to child protection as may be necessary and subject to existing laws, rules, and regulations. The funding for POCP will come from current and available appropriations of the Office of the President and other sources to be determined by the Department of Budget and Management according to the order. Operations of the Light Rail Transit 1 or LRT1 will be suspended for 3 weekends this month in preparation for the integration of the Cavite Extension Phase 1 in the fourth quarter. The temporary suspension will take effect on August 17 to 18, 24 to 25, and August 31st to September 1st, the LRT1 said in advisory Friday. No commercial train service will run from the Fernando Poe Jr. station to the Baclaran station on these dates. Once finished, the extension will connect Manila to Cavite, reducing travel time from Baclaran, Pasay City to Ino, Cavite from 1 hour and 10 minutes via local roads to only 25 minutes by train. The construction of Phase 1 is progressing as scheduled with a 98.2% completion rate as of the end of April. The project will add 6.2 kilometers to the existing LTR1 line from the Baclaran station in Pasay City to the Dr. Santos station in Paranaque City. Phase 1, which is expected to be operational before the end of the year, is capable of serving 600,000 passengers daily. The 5 new stations under Phase 1 are at various stages of completion. These are the Redemgaras Station, Manila International Airport Station, Asia World Station, Ninoy Aquino Station, and Dr. Santos Station. The LRT-1 Dr. Santos Station, the end terminal for Phase 1, will serve as a transit hub. Passengers will have seamless access to various modes of transportation through the intermodal facility. And the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, Central Visayas, lauded the rejection of the proposal to temporarily suspend the public transport modernization program of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Eduardo Montaldo Jr., the regional director of LTFRB 7, expressed relief with the decision and mentioned that he had already expected the president to reject the proposal. Montaldo pointed out that before the extended April 30 consolidation deadline, the president had previously announced that the modernization would continue, stating, "Walang nang atrasan ito," or "there's no going back now." Montaldo noted the potential consequences if the proposal had been approved, saying it could have led to a 100% transportation paralysis. Actually, that was what we were worried about. that they would go on strike and won't operate because it will surely paralyze the transport system, he said. The president asserted that a majority of public utility vehicle operators had already complied with the program and were consolidating their franchises under cooperatives or corporations. I disagree with them because they said this was rushed. This modernization has been postponed 7 times. Those objecting and asking for suspension are in the minority. 80% have already consolidated, so how can we let the remaining 20% decide the fate of the entire system? He said. Meanwhile, the decision was met with overwhelming relief and satisfaction by border transport groups in Cebu. Ellen McHanoy, head of El Pardo Transport Cooperative El Pardo thesis, expressed the collective joy and gratitude of the group. The group is really happy. The news spreads fast. The group is happy and they say the effort in the past days was all worth it, McNoy said in Cebuano. Previously, modern jeepney operators and drivers in Cebu staged a protest rally on August 5. They opposed Senate Resolution number 1096, which aggravated a temporary PTMP help. The protests included a simultaneous march from Funte Osmena Rotuda to the LTFRB Central Visayas office, arguing that the resolution was unfair to the 81% of operators who had already complied with the modernization efforts. The operators contended that the 22 senators who signed the resolution seemed to favor the 19% who had yet to consolidate, thus undermining the significant progress made by the majority in the transport sector. Coming up on koolNews at 4, PNP says reported tunnels in Cupoid compound and open secret. Probe is underway as Subic Hotel apologizes for alleged food poisoning. Marcos sees progress in U.S.-Philippines ally or alliances. And North Koreans have not been given Samsung phones at Paris Olympics, according to International Olympics Committee. It is now 4:12 in the afternoon, and koolNews at 4 will be right back.
Cool FM.
Welcome back. The Philippine National Police on Friday called the reported tunnels inside the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao City an open secret. PNP spokesperson Colonel Juan Fajado said this was one of the factors the police are considering when planning the serving of the warrant against embattled religious leader Pastor Apollo Kiboloy, who is believed to be hiding in the sparring 30-hectare compound. I think it's an open secret, Fajado said of the reported tunnels in Kiboloy's compound. Last June 10, some 100 policemen stormed the premises of the KOJC compound to serve the warrants of arrest against Kipuloy, but they were prevented by its religious members from entering. Farjado recalled that there was a deliberate attempt to derail and delay the service of warrant against Kipuloy, noting that sirens were also heard in the compound during the June 10 incident. I don't know if it's a signal to anyone to give them the opportunity to hide and even escape, Farjado said of the sirens. This is one of the challenges we are facing with respect to the service of warrant against Pastor Kipuloy and other suspects, she added. Farjado said the police have established checkpoints near the compound to prevent the suspects from leaving the area. Authorities noted that there is a hangar for Kipuloy's private aircraft at the KOJC, which he could use to escape, according to Davao Police Regional Office Director, Brigadier General Nicholas Taret III. One of Kipuloy's helicopters was even recently active, but police then alerted the airport authorities, according to Torre. The pilots of Kipuloy told the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines that they were only warming up the helicopter, according to Farjado. Farjado also said authorities are closely monitoring the movement of Kipuloy's air assets. The police spokesperson also noted that one of Kipuloy's private planes was covered by the freeze order out of the Court of Appeals. CA on Thursday said it had imposed a 20-day freeze order on Kipuloy's bank accounts, real estate properties, and other assets. Furthermore, a 10 million peso reward would be given to anyone with information leading to the arrest of Kipuloy, according to Interior Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. Kipuloy and the 5 co-accused faced child abuse cases before the Davao City Court. He also has standing arrest warrants for human trafficking issued by a Pasig City Court. A hotel inside Subic Bay Freeport has issued a public apology after a suspected food poisoning affected village officials from San Carlos City in Pagkasayahan. In a statement on Thursday, August 8, Jorgen Michael Te, Director of Sales and Marketing at Subic Bay Travelers Hotel, announced that the hotel management was investigating the cause of the alleged food poisoning in coordination with the Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority, the Olongapo City Government, and other agencies. They confirmed that food samples from the breakfast and lunch meals were sent to the Department of Health Region 3 for analysis. He said water filters, samples of filtered water, and ice cubes from the hotel's ice maker were submitted to Subic Water for testing. The hotel management commits to defray medical and hospitalization costs and whatever needs may be necessary to alleviate the concerns of those affected, said Te. While awaiting the test results, Te assured the public that the hotel would implement measures to ensure the safety of all stakeholders in every aspect of its operations. The overall comfort and well-being of hotel guests remains the primary mission of the hotel, and we commit to stringently undertake corrective actions to ensure premium quality service for our guests, he added. SPTH also thanked San Carlos City Mayor Julia Resulo, the SPMA, the Olongapo City Government, and the Philippine Red Cross for their prompt emergency response. Army Lamas, Deputy Administrator for Corporate Communication at the SPMA, said the laboratory results from the food samples were expected within 4 to 5 days. Water filter test results are anticipated within 24 to 48 hours. Despite the ongoing investigation, the hotel's restaurant remains operational. The Public Health and Safety Department has issued a show cause order to the establishment. On Wednesday, 163 village officials, primarily sangguniang ng Kabataan officials from Pangasinan, exhibited symptoms of food poisoning after consuming lunch at the hotel during a seminar. The affected individuals were taken to hospitals within the Freeport and nearby Olongapo City, but have since been discharged and returned to Pagkasayahan. In a phone interview, both Jericho Kalma and SK Counselor from Barangay Ano in San Carlos City noted that two of his five colleagues who attended the Gender Awareness and Sensitivity seminar experienced symptoms of food poisoning. According to Kalma, or the chop suey served during lunch had a sour taste, raising concerns about its freshness. The first batch of the three-day Gender Awareness and Development Seminar, which began on August 5, was organized by the San Carlos City local government and attended by more than 300 SK officials, including the mayor, vice mayor, and city council members. Due to the incident, the San Carlos City LGU has canceled the second batch of the seminar, which was scheduled for August 7 to 9 at the same hotel. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. is pleased over the Philippines' improving partnership with the United States, its oldest and only treaty ally. This, as Marcos, during his meeting with members of the U.S. Congressional Delegation at Malacanan Palace in Manila on Thursday, thanked the U.S. for its continued support for the Philippines, Presidential Communications Office Secretary Chuloy Garafil said in a statement on Friday. The fruits of those partnership, of those alliances that we are now forming to face up to these new challenges that we really had before are, I think, very true, although we are coming from resolution at least to manage this situation, Marcos told the U.S. CODEL, as quoted by the PCO. Again, on behalf of the Philippines, we express our gratitude for all the United States has done and continues to do in support of our alliance and to strong adherence for the Philippines, he added. The U.S. CODEL was led by Representative Michael McCall from Republican Texas, who serves as chairperson of the House Committee on Foreign Affairs and chairman emeritus of the House Committee on Homeland Security. Representative Addison Graves Wilson, who is from Republican 2nd District of South Carolina, member of the House Committee on Foreign Affairs, joined McCall during the courtesy call on Marcos at Malacanan. Garfield said McCall and Wilson were primarily interested in hearing the Marcos administration's views and concerns about China and what the U.S. can do to support its assertion of the Philippines' sovereignty, sovereign rights, and jurisdiction in the West Philippine Sea. McCall expressed his gratitude to Marcos for the Philippines' support to the U.S. and assured the Philippine president of Washington's inclusion in the foreign military financing. This supplemental or appropriation is very important. We see Israel, see Ukraine, see Indo-Pacific, three areas in the world, three regions receiving attack from tyrannical governments. We see President Vladimir Putin and President Xi Jinping make an alliance in Beijing, McCall said. Around $500 million out of $2.5 billion MMF supplemental budget for the Indo-Pacific will be given to the Philippines following a 2+2 foreign and defense ministerial dialogue with Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo and Defense Secretary Gilberto Deodoro Jr. Bilateral defense and security engagement remains a key pillar of the two nations' bilateral relations and is carried out within the framework of the Mutual Defense Treaty, the Visiting Forces Agreement, the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, and other bilateral agreements. The U.S. also remains an important and strategic trading and investment partner of the Philippines, having a common interest in advancing agriculture and food security, promoting energy security, boosting trade and building supply chain resilience, enhancing connectivity and digitalization, and protecting critical infrastructure. And finally, North Korean Olympians have not received Samsung smartphones, unlike athletes from other countries at the Paris Olympics, the AOC told AFP on Thursday, hours after Seoul suggested that provided them, the phones could violate UN sanctions against the nuclear-armed North. South Korea's tech giant Samsung Electronics, an official partner of the Olympics, earlier announced it was providing an Olympic edition of its advanced smartphone, the foldable Galaxy Z Flip 6, to all approximately 17,000 athletes participating in the Paris Games this year. North Korean table tennis silver medalists participated in one such group, although selfie last week along South Korean bronze winners. A rare inter-Korean encounter that went viral. But the South Korean government said Thursday that providing Samsung smartphones to North Korean Olympians could violate United Nations sanctions related to Pyongyang's weapons program, following a report by US-funded outlet Radio Free Asia that North Korea, like other nations, had received the funds for its accolades. But the IOC told AFP in the statement late Thursday that North Korean Olympians have not received these substance funds. The IOC did not give any further details. And that is it for Cool News at 4. As always, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And we will be back with more headlines later with Cool News at 6 and 1 hour of Cool News Prime Time at 9. Until then, I am Carlo. Good afternoon.